A stormy night, a dark bedroom, and two 15-year-old twins home alone create the perfect setting for a scary story. Cristina and Fernando sit on the floor of Fernando's bedroom while rain and thunder surround the house. The electricity has gone out, so a flashlight provides the only light. At first, the twins are simply trying to entertain themselves before their parents return from a party. But the frightening stories they tell begin to blur the line between imagination and reality. The scene invites us to watch how a playful sibling challenge can slowly become a genuine test of courage. Cristina finishes her scary story with a familiar twist. The two characters hear knocking, try to reach the phone, and discover that the killer is already inside the house. She tells the story quickly and grins proudly because she believes she has created a frightening ending. Her words immediately establish the central idea of the scene: the danger may not be waiting outside at all. Yet Cristina is still treating the story as entertainment, unaware that the same idea will soon make every sound in the house feel threatening. Fernando refuses to be impressed. He yawns and coldly tells Cristina that her story was not scary because the killer being inside the house is too predictable. Cristina challenges him to do better, and Fernando eagerly begins preparing his own tale about a man camping alone in the woods. He wants to prove that he can create a more terrifying story, while Cristina becomes impatient and checks the time. Their teasing shows the playful rivalry between the twins, but it also prepares the audience for a change. Fernando's story will soon be interrupted by a sound that cannot be explained as easily as a made-up plot. Cristina looks at her watch and stops Fernando before he can finish his story. She reminds him that their parents will soon return from the party, that they promised to be asleep by 10 o'clock, and that they have school and a major test in the morning. Fernando accuses her of being too scared to hear his spine-tingling story, but Cristina answers sarcastically that she is simply too tired. She tells him to go to bed and leaves the room, closing the door behind her. The moment seems ordinary, yet the storm becomes louder, and the peaceful routine of going to sleep is about to collapse. After Cristina leaves, Fernando stands, stretches, and gets into bed. The sound of rain grows louder until it is replaced by persistent scratching against the window. Fernando suddenly jumps up and calls for Cristina to come back. He admits that he does not know what he heard, but he points toward the window and describes the scratching. Cristina returns anxious and embarrassed by his fear, yet she immediately tries to explain it away. Because they are twins, she believes she understands exactly what he is doing, trying to scare her after their argument. She tells him to stop fooling around and go to sleep. Cristina leaves the room again, shaking her head at her brother. As soon as the door slams, 3 sharp knocks strike the window. Fernando calls her name, and Cristina returns, annoyed because she thinks he is continuing the game. This time, however, Fernando is terrified rather than playful. He asks her to admit that she heard the sound, and he points toward the window. Cristina asks what he means, but Fernando repeats that there was knocking. The repeated noises make the situation more frightening. The twins can no longer be sure whether they are responding to one another or to someone outside the house. Cristina insists that nobody is knocking and tells Fernando that he will not frighten her. She tries to end the game again, saying they might as well get some sleep. Fernando stops her and asks her to close the door once more, because he believes she may hear the sound if she listens carefully. Cristina agrees reluctantly, but she warns him that the situation is not funny. Fernando finally admits that she is right. It is not funny, and then says that there really is somebody out there. Cristina closes the door and turns back toward her brother, while the mood changes from teasing to tense silence. The twins stand silently in the dark bedroom. Fernando waits for another nose, desperate to prove that he heard something real, while Cristina impatiently wants the game to end. Then 3 loud knocks break the silence again. This time, the sound does not come from the window. It strikes the hardwood of the bedroom door. The change in location makes the danger feel immediate and unavoidable. Neither twin can dismiss the sound as a branch or a trick of the storm. Slowly, the doorknob begins to turn, and the scene reaches its most suspenseful moment. The scene ends without revealing who or what is behind the door. That unanswered question is what makes the ending so powerful. The play begins with 2 siblings competing to tell the scary story, but the storm, the darkness, the repeated sounds, and the turning doorknob transform their game into real fear. The audience is left in the same position as Cristina and Fernando, listening, waiting, and imagining what will happen when the door opens. By stopping at the exact moment of greatest suspense, the scene allows the fear to continue beyond the page and inside the audience's own imagination.